Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your December the 5th just for today in a meditation. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. Okay, December 5th. The title of the meditation is Those Who Want to Recover. We have seen the program work for any addict who honestly and sincerely wants to stop using drugs. That comes from the basic text, page 10. How do we know when someone honestly and sincerely wants to stop using drugs? The truth is that we don't know because we cannot read minds or know another's motives and desires. We simply have to hope for the best. We may talk to a newcomer at a meeting and think we'll never see them again, only to find them several years later doing well in their recovery. We may be tempted to give up on someone who keeps relapsing or doesn't get clean right away, but we must not. No matter how unwilling someone may seem, a simple fact remains. The addict is at a meeting. We may never know the results of our 12th step work. It is not up to us to gauge the willingness of a newcomer. The message we carry is a part of us. We carry it everywhere and share it freely, leaving the results to a power greater than ourselves. Just for today, I will share my recovery with any addict, anywhere, anytime, and under any circumstances. I will leave the results to my higher power. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. Those who want to recover. This quote here says that we have seen the program work for any addict who honestly and sincerely wants to stop using drugs. The challenge within the meditation is that we don't get to determine when someone is honestly and sincerely wanting to stop using. We have no idea what their true motives are or their desires. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop. And oftentimes we've admitted that that desire to completely be lifted takes time. So it's not for us to judge that. What is ours to do is to share the message of recovery. That is a part of us. And we share it everywhere. We share it freely. And we leave the results of our doing 12th step work to a power greater than ourselves. At some point in time, we encounter individuals that are honestly and sincerely wanting to stop using drugs. We don't know who they could be. So why would we gauge our sharing the message of recovery, sharing our recovery with any addict, anywhere, anytime, under any circumstances? Why would we gauge it based on what we think about the person that we're encountering? Well, I don't think they're serious, so I'm not going to share. Why not? You have no idea if, even if they're not, that your message might be the very thing that is the catalyst into them having a honest, sincere desire to stop. How do you know that your message of recovery won't be the very thing that says, to them, if they can do it, I can do it? They might be thinking, oh, this person sounds a lot like I did. They sound a lot like me. Their story is very similar. I find hope in that. And maybe that little tiny fire of desire becomes an inferno of desire. The point is, we don't know. There's no way for us to know that. So it behooves me, right, to just share my message and not dole my message out like it's money, right? Very carefully, using discretion who I share. Yeah, and there should be some discretion, right? I'm not going to get on a city bus and start talking about my recovery to 50 people on the bus. I might, but I'm going to be conscientious of where I'm at and appropriateness, right? So there is some discretion that a person may use, but in general, would someone say about you, that is a person that freely shares the message of recovery? And if not, why not? Why not? This is what I found. And I can't necessarily, I found it, well, I can say I found it about myself, but the circumstances are a little bit different, but not all that different. The same general concern was there. Okay, so what I have found is that when a person is uncertain or insecure about something, and that something can vary, right? There will be a tendency to refrain from speaking about anything that might cause their insecurity to come to light. Okay, so let me give you an example. Some area that I am always wondering, am I doing the right thing about? So I refrain from giving my input a lot. My eating habits, right? I believe a person should have a balanced meal. I know about macronutrients, right? I know a lot of detail about certain foods and how they work within the body. Just from bodybuilding in the past, I understand that there's certain foods that you can eat that will make your body more susceptible to digesting protein. Okay. And that there's a certain window after working out that you should eat these certain foods in order to promote recovery and ultimately build more mass. Okay. So I have a lot of information. However, I find myself not living by that information that I have. Okay. I have a very, I would say, bland diet. It is in no way as nutritional as it should be. Okay. And it's very bland and haphazard. So there's not a regimen or a schedule, right, to my eating. And I will forego eating hours and hours and hours until I get home, and then only to get home to find myself wrapped up in my family. And before I know it, I may have gone to bed only eating, eating anything, I wanted a piece of candy and drinking coffee, okay? Or chewing gum and drinking coffee all day. And I'll just go to bed. It's too late to eat, right? So I know that's not healthy in any kind of way. So I find myself refraining from sharing the message of a healthy lifestyle when it comes to eating, nutrition, right? People can be struggling and oftentimes, or have an eating disorder, and I will oftentimes forego adding my 2 cents in because that's how I value it. It's important, but it's not important enough for you to change your own life. So why would you think that you would have any information to give to anyone? And I actually have tons. I mean, if you look at my bookshelves, and I have several, right? I would say they fall within 4 areas, right? And one of the areas, which means that I have hundreds of pieces of literature, hundreds of books in this field, is nutrition, right? So I'm very interested in it. Okay. The same thing I find happens when it comes to people talking freely about their recovery, sharing their recovery. A lot of times they will refrain, they will pick and choose the topic that they'll share on, if they share at all, because they're not feeling secure about the program of recovery that they're working. Here's my suggestion. Stop judging yourself so harshly, right? If there's an area that you are not familiar with or you're insecure with, you can refrain sharing on that particular topic. I mean, I am even sure that a person that has not completely had the desire to stop using lifted still has something to add to the table of recovery to someone that is only maybe 2-3 hours clean, not even clean enough, 24 hours to share in a particular meeting. That person that is still looking for the desire to be lifted would have something to offer. Our basic text even talks about a person with 2 days clean has something to offer to the person with 1 day, right? Of course, I'm paraphrasing. So you understand that sometimes I think we just judge ourselves too harshly, and we have so much to offer. So for today, what I want you to do, just for today, is share your recovery with any addict, anywhere, anytime, under any circumstance, and leave the results to your higher power. Try not to pick and choose, right? Who? We're not talking about what, who you share, right? Which addicts you share your recovery with. Try not to pick and choose, right? You can use discretion, and I recommend it. What part of your recovery you share, but still feel free to share with any addict seeking recovery. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.